You're listening to Pot is My Co-Pilot because clearly you love yourself.
Do they, though?
You enjoy self-care and self-harm all at the same time.
Right. There you go. There it is.
You're listening to the dulcet, calming tones of Wine Taylor, the Latte Boy.
It's the equivalent of taking a lit cigarette and burning it into your arm and going, God, what a rush.
Okay, I wasn't quite going there with that, but sure. And a look into the psyche of a crazy person. No. And I'm Taffy Carlisle. We are Rodan-less today.
Yes.
Because he is in the middle of all things moving. So you get the joy of just us.
He's not even moving yet. They're still doing stuff to the new house.
It's part of the moving process.
Right, part of the process. He wasn't... his internet... He has internet, but he doesn't have a desk, or he may not have his computers. I don't know. But so we said that we'd give him the week off. He went to Joyce in HR and filled out the appropriate paperwork that I need in triplicate.
And requested time off, right?
Because God forbid I have software that allows him to just type things in. He has to fill out paperwork. And then I have to review in triplicate. And then
right.
I have to review it. And then, you have
to submit it.
Submit it. And I never submit it to make. I always make sure that he gets the paperwork at about 4:30 on Friday, so that he's got to sweat it out all week as to whether or not he's actually got to be on the show or not.
Oh, get serious. You submit very easy. Let's be honest.
Yes, clearly.
Which is why we're on episode 583 of Pot is My Co-Pilot.
Right.
I have the squeakiest chair, so I'm sorry. We've tried. I'm just going to have to get a new desk chair because every time I move, it's like...
Ladies and gentlemen, that's her vagina.
My vagina, I think, kind of whistles. Even though, no, because I hate whistling, so that's not it.
Well, first of all, if I thought we could get away with that as the title, I would put that down. My vagina whistles.
It sounds like, no instrument that you can say there is good.
It could have been worse. You could have said, my vagina has a first name. It's OSCA.
No, seriously, there's no instrument of any kind that you can put there, with the exception of maybe a harp, it invokes anything good. My vagina sounds like a trumpet. Nope, not good. My vagina sounds like what?
Does Tank have a nickname for your vagina?
I don't think so. He only referred to it as one thing one time when we were much younger, before we ever even had sex, and I told him he was never allowed to call it that again.
Your sunflower?
No, worse. The rose garden.
Oh!
I swear my hand to God. We were in Ohio, in his house. I remember distinctly. And it was one of those, it was very much think about the terrible, cheesy moment in Armageddon where he has the animal crackers and he's walking them up Liv Tyler's stomach. It's kind of that kind of thing where we were like laying down and having this, trying to be sexy when you're 13 and 16, which is just gross. And where he was doing the whole thing and he was just like, sometimes I think about your rose garden. I'm like,
because it's thorny?
Right? I don't know. But I was just like, someplace if you fall in, it's going to be hard to get out of. I don't know. So that was, and I have reminded him of this on several occasions of like, that's, and he's just like, I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I'm like, obviously. No, and I do not have a name for his dick either, I assure you.
It's funny that he calls it the Rose Garden because Babalu calls mine the Briar Patch.
But see, if he's Briar Rabbit, that's good. That's where he always wanted to go, so that's not a bad thing.
He does not actually call it the... We did have a moment last night that led into this morning where at one point we had some asshole shooting off fireworks again last night at like 10:30 at night, and the dogs were going nuts. And at one point... And also, I get that people are going to be surprised. This is the way Babalu and I talk to each other. So just everybody calm down before we think that, I'm a horrible person. Even though, because we've already established I am, in fact, a horrible person. And they're running back and forth from the front of the house to the back of the house. So the back of the house is dark, and I'm standing kind of in the doorway to the kitchen as they run past me, and I yell at, as they're running into the living room, I yell at a dog, thinking it's Pudgy, but it's actually Tori. And then I said, because she's running towards Babalu, I said, "Wow, you're getting fat." So to which Babalu looks up and went, "Excuse me?" And I said, "No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the dog." And he went, "Okay." And I said, because I said getting, where then he had this like big look on his face. And then which then made me laugh. And then he was like, "You're such a cunt." And then we both laugh about it because Stockholm syndrome and,
Right.
whatever.
But I love Swedish culture. So that's right. But here's the thing, though. When we were in the pool last Sunday...
Hold on. I'm not done with my story.
Okay,
I'm not done with my story. So then this morning, he goes and gets us breakfast because that's what he does on the weekends, which is wonderful. And he was saying something, because he wants to go get his car washed today, get his car, take care of it. And he goes, "I got to go put lipstick on a pig today." And I went, "Oh, okay." And I happened to be standing in my underwear giving myself my insulin shot, and the pugs came around with him, and one of the pugs was snorting, but as he came around the corner, standing there, he went, "Speaking of pigs," and I was standing right there. Which then I turned around and he went, "No, not you, not you, not you." And then he proceeded to laugh, the throw his head back, yelp laugh for 5 minutes, which then made me, this is the way we talk to each other. This is why we've been together for 14 years.
So this is going to be the new thing of now when you want to passive aggressively say something under your breath, you can just say you're talking about one of the dogs, like, "Who didn't fucking wash the dishes? Pudgy."
Right.
Well, that's like when Lollipop moved out of the house and went to college for literally about a year. Anything that went wrong, the little Huffington would go, "Oh, well, Lollipop's supposed to do that." So that makes sense. No, I was going to say, talking about you two, weight slut shaming each other. We're in the pool last Sunday for a couple hours. Babalu goes to get out and he's like, "Oh God, I feel so heavy." And I said, "Well, yeah, that's because, all the water that gets in your system." And you were like, just say it.
It just said, "It's the weight."
And the look of fuck you and just heartbreak and fuck you at the exact same time that he gave you was fantastic. And then, of course, you and I laughed about that for 20 minutes because we're terrible, horrible people. But I mean,
Right. Yes, we spent 4th of July together last weekend.
That is true.
Which was awesome.
And I was going to say, which was lovely because we were in the pool most of the day, and then we ate wings and hot dogs. And
yes.
We're on the cob. I mean,
well, no, some would say 8 wings. Others would say we're the victims of an attempted murder because your husband made Jamaican jerk wings that he let marinate for over 24 hours.
And then put more sauce on them.
Yes. And then drown them in sauce. So the first one, I definitely was, knocking people out of the way to get to the first wing. And I made a noise when I ate the first one. And I'm all about spice. I'm all about spiciness. I'm all about heat.
And he said, the problem was, it wasn't just hot to be hot. He goes, the flavor was actually really good, but it was so spicy. You still wanted to eat them, but you were also in pain. So he eventually rinsed off some of the sauces just to when he took it from lunch and stuff. He was like, it made it much more palatable. He goes, without just dunking them into blue cheese.
Yeah. No, I had the leftovers on Monday and they were actually really good. Mm-hmm. But I also think that I just kind of took the chill off of them. I didn't make them because they were also hot because they were fresh off the grill too. So that didn't help, but they were delicious. But
yeah, no, it was lovely to just have you all here and just with kind of no expiration date, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm looking at you.
Oh, wait, it looks like you don't look like you're looking at me. It looks like you're looking down at the corner of your computer.
Well, because the window of you is down on the corner of your computer.
Gotcha.
I had a stroke. I had a stroke. So, no, that's where the window is. I can't have it where you're the full screen.
Well, it should be, but
I get that you feel as though it should be, but I'm actually watching the little blue line to make sure that everything is moving with Audacity.
I have you as half my screen, and then the blue line is the other half. And normally, if Rodan is on, he gets the center square, but down at the bottom. Because my screensaver is let me tell you exactly what I'm looking at the bottom 3 inches of my computer right now. Tank and I, you and Babalu, Pudgy and Tori, and Sterling. the things I'm supposed to be, because everybody else is up at the top, so that's what gets covered. So even though I'm looking at you, I can also look at you. So there you are.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's one of those things where my mother was in the office one day because I had gotten a gift for one of her friends for his birthday, and I came in here to get it, and she was like, why isn't my picture on the screensaver? And I was like, well, first off, because you talk creepily like that. I felt like saying, because it's pictures of my family, and I was like, no, she wouldn't think that was funny.
No, this is no, I put people I like.
I appreciate on there. Exactly.
I appreciate. It's reciprocal, not a succubus.
So I won something.
Oh.
Besides your heart and the heart of America, I won something. I won tickets to go see whatever the stupid Marvel movie is out that's right now that I can't think of the name of.
Black Widow?
Black Widow.
How did you win those?
I won tickets to go see it at the Disney AMC in Disney Springs tomorrow night at 7:30.
Okay.
So
not where did you win those? How did you win those?
Oh, I something online on one of the Disney cruise boards. They're doing a private party where they like rented the theater, like the big AMC theater.
Cool, very cool.
Yeah, so I wasn't even actually going to go see it, but now I'm like. So then, of course, I parlayed this into well, since the show starts at 7:30, it's going to be a long way back, so we might as well spend the night up there.
I mean, he's off on Tuesdays.
Right. So which led me to do the whole, well, we could just go up early on Monday and spend the day and then finish with them. So now I'm like, how can I get it to where we're leaving this afternoon?
So free tickets have now cost you $500 in hotels and dinner and various accoutrements.
Yeah. So we will be staying up there tomorrow night.
Where are you staying?
We're staying at the Bohemian at Celebration.
Ooh, very nice.
Yes. We were the only property that we could get that was close is the Boardwalk. Bless you. And you could only get the Boardwalk Villas.
I was on mute. They wouldn't have known that I was sneezing.
Wow, that's okay. We can just collectively go. Yeah, Boardwalk Villas was the only thing available, and it seemed a bit excessive to get something that slept 8 people.
Well, but then you could just fuck from room to room.
That is true. And actually, I think he made that comment at one point. So
that's very cool. I think we're just going to wait until it's free. I mean, unfortunately, we follow enough people on YouTube that are very, what does the ending mean? And, post-credit scene and that I know at some point shit's going to be ruined for us, or maybe my husband made the declaration that he doesn't plan on going back to the movies last weekend, which was which sort of did this where he said that, and I kind of did the look and then looked around like, I'm sorry, do I not get a say in that? Or that might be something, so then I may just go by myself and see it if I decide I want to. Which, let's get real. If I say I'm going to see Black Widow, he'll be like, fine, I'll go with you.
I was going to say, get serious. Yeah. Oh, no. I tried to think of a way that I could parlay this into 4 free tickets instead. Trust me. But then I was like, there's no way, because I know you all actually have to go to work.
Yeah, we have to work on Tuesday. So so that worked out well that it's on a Monday night because Tank's off on Mondays. So Mondays.
Well, that was one of those, you had to say it was local only. And I said, they're like, well, it shows here you live XYZ. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine. We'll still be there. It's not a problem. But yeah, whatever.
So you'll get to be in a room with a bunch of other Disney cruise people?
Apparently, they rented the theater, and apparently that's, I guess, I don't think it's where we're all going to sit around and, whip our dicks out and show you, I'm platinum.
I think that's absolutely what Taffy Carlisle Huffington's going to do. When she walks in with her platinum lanyard.
No, I'm going to see a Marvel movie. I'll wear my Marvel dress.
With your platinum lanyard. Were we not supposed to wear these? Were we not supposed to wear our platinum lanyards? I mean,
no. And maybe, but no.
You're going to get where you're going to sit next to somebody. You're going to break the rule. You're going to break the rule, but you're going to be seated next to somebody for 2 hours that's occasionally going to lean over to you and go, aren't you excited about the Wish?
Right. Well, I have and I say this, and as I'm saying this, I know that this is complete bullshit, and I'm sure that someone's going to send me a text message and go, no. But I have sort of kind of made friends with a crew member right now who's in quarantine, and this is her 12th campaign or whatever they call contract. And so when she flew back, she's been in quarantine for 14 days, and she's now in like entering her second week of quarantine. And I commented on one of her posts, and she messaged me, and then we started messaging each other back and forth. And I'm not going to say who she is because I'm getting ready to tell you she doesn't think they're going to have anybody cruise for at least 3 more months. But okay, and she could be completely. I mean, and again, this could be where. Please don't message me and tell me I'm full of shit because I'm just telling you what she said. But she's like, I don't foresee that happen. Although I have watched all the videos of everyone in Europe that posted everything for the Dover cruise.
Mm-hmm. Explain what the Dover cruise is.
Nobody the Dover cruise is, they did a staycation cruise for Disney Cruise Line out of Dover, England, where they just literally put people on the ship that were friends and family of crew members, cast members, and they took them out into the water and they let them sit there for 2 days and brought them back. Something I've been saying that they should do for years that we would pay to do. And they did it as a test run, and they had cabanas open, which is their buffet, but it was where crew was serving you and stuff like that. And I watched all the videos of everyone who had posted stuff on YouTube where everything looks just exceptionally.
I'm just picturing you watching all of these Disney cruise videos on your big TV, just going to town on yourself.
No. I will say though, I was doing pretty good as far as like, because Babalu and I tend to be very, very emotional when we get on the ship. And I was doing really good until she gets into her stateroom, and she's clearly doing this as someone, she's doing this for people who have never been, and she's in this stateroom by herself, and she's British. I don't know her name, and she's telling how the split toilet is split bathrooms are really interesting. Excuse me. And all of a sudden, over the head, you hear the bum, 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 where they do announcements. And I literally did I don't know why I wasn't expecting it in real time. And I did tear up a little bit because I'm a dork. I did not care. So Tank walks out literally as it's happening. And he's like, he does the thing where he does like the slapping his arm, like I need a shot of heroin. And he's like, you really, really have a disease. And I'm like, I can't. I said, please. I said, all you people who go to watch all the trailers for your games and your movies and all that bullshit, this is like a trailer for me going on a cruise. So
okay, I can appreciate that to a degree. So
yeah, so
being catfished by someone who says that they're Minnie Mouse, I don't know that I necessarily agree with that.
I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah, no, I totally work on the Disney cruise. Absolutely. Well, I'm the one that presses the button and the pixie dust goes along the side of the ship.
No, I'm the person that blows the horn. And you know what? If you send me $500, I'll let you blow the horn.
Yes, when the next time you're on the cruise, you just come up and say that Tinkerbell sent you.
Right. My Venmo is at Tinkerbell. Right, exactly.
They're very particular about who will actually get to press the button. So if you could just share your checking and routing number as well as your social security number, they want to make sure that you are of the highest standard to be able to press the button to be able to blow the horn.
Exactly. Oh, your birth date and mother's maiden name? Not a problem.
Well, I know that we have one planned for September.
Next September.
Next September. Yes, next September of 2022. So hopefully, if we're not cruising by then, not going on a cruise will be the least of our problems if we're still another year from now. Cut to where I have to save this clip so that, a year from now when the world's on fire.
It's the scene when we were at a Snowmageddon. Where I was like, just because we're on the plane doesn't mean we're going to take off. Look at that ice. And then in the video, you slow it down. Why would you say that? Cut to when you're laying on the couch as the stewardess is walking in the door. You should re-release some of our old videos for new listeners who have not seen them or found them, that they can go back and look at some of them, because the treat that I know some of them are...
The treat that is us.
the treat, again, because you love yourself.
Right.
The treat that is, some of them are very, very funny.
We're going to give you a portrayal in narcissism. You should totally watch our old videos.
They're like reruns. They're like, do you know what Kalen Swanson said to me?
I don't know.
He's like, okay, chicken soup for the soul. Guess what, Kalen? Pot is my co-pilot. Backed issues, back videos, backed episodes, that is chicken poop. No, you were right the first time. We are chicken poop for the soul. There's your title.
The title to 583, chicken poop for the soul. God.
Kalen Caleb finally makes himself worthy.
So Kalen makes himself worthy. Yesterday, we were trying to get out of the house to go run a couple of errands, and I was taking my time, and because I was at one point I realized it was annoying my husband. So of course now I'm doing the whole like, you know what? It's a beautiful summer day, so I want a blueberry lip balm from Kalen Swanson of Kalen Swanson Designs. Where did I put that blueberry lip balm? And he was just like, I want to go, yelling from the other room.
Did I tell you about? This is not a commercial for Kalen Swanson Designs by Kalen Swanson of Kalen Swanson, but I will tell you, and I messaged him to let him know this. So I pride myself on having smooth and supple elbows because ashy elbows are a no-no. And when we were in Atlanta the last time, we went to see Lollipop and Brooks and everybody, I felt one of my elbows was perhaps not as supple and soft as I felt it should be. And I used some of his lip balm and I just kind of rubbed it on there, literally overnight. And it was like,
well, it's a balm. It's supposed to.
I know, but whatever little like oils and stuff he has in there, I was like, well, market this, sell this nonsense. It's a cure-all. It's that bomb. No, market it as a cure-all at this point because it's fantastic.
So wait, something that you put on dried, cracked skin to help it feel better worked on another part of your body that had dry, cracked skin?
It wasn't quite to the dry, cracked part, but it was just starting to get there, and there was no way that was going to be allowed to happen, or I would have to wax my elbows, which is disgusting. But where you dip them in the hot.
You did wax your elbows. You put lip balm on,
and it worked beautifully. So I'm shout out to Kaylin for not only giving us the quasi title of this episode, but also saving my elbow. So I'm digging it into, your neck, trying to get you to go to sleep. You're at my house, and I walk by you and go.
So I am Jamie Summers right now.
Oh,
I am the Bionic Woman.
I was hoping you were going to talk about this.
Yes. I currently have a Freestyle Libre 2 diabetic sensor attached to what I'm assuming is the back of my arm. I think it's supposed to be, if like you're looking at your arm and the back of your arm is 12 o'clock, I feel it's more at like a 10 to 11 action. So, but it is definitely reading it. And I have a sensor that I have to read this little blue box that I have to like run over it. And it is testing my blood sugar.
Talk to me like someone who knows nothing about diabetes, except for what you have told me. I'm assuming you can shower with that on, swim with that on?
It's on for 14 days, and I can do all of the stuff that I would normally do with it. And it is, I didn't feel it going in. That is the big thing because it has a pretty good sized needle on the back of it. But I watched a couple of YouTube videos and they said it is much more intimidating than it actually is. And it also makes like a ka-chunk noise when it goes into you, but that's just the pump.
Tank makes a ka-chunk noise when it goes into you too. Well, because my next question was, I'm assuming that they don't put like the Disney pins where it has the Mickey Mouse shaped thing on the back of it that holds it in.
No,
so
nothing like
hold
that.
It in somehow.
No, it's the disc itself is about 3 inches across. Actually, it might even be that.
I don't think it's that big.
No, maybe it's an inch across. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's just
the top of a Voss bottle, like that. Maybe it's smaller.
Yeah, and it's maybe a quarter of an inch high. Probably not even that. And there's an adhesive.
Can you feel it in there?
I could yesterday a little bit. Like at first, it kind of had that when you get a shot and like your arm sore. A little bit, but now I don't feel it. It is weird though. Sometimes if I scratch the back of my arm off, I'm like, "What's that?" And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm a cyborg now." But I don't know. Okay, so they said within the first 12 hours, it gives you really wonky numbers, and it definitely did because I was like 113 1 minute, and then 10 minutes later I was 165, and I hadn't eaten anything or so it was very much, but it's getting used to. It's not a blood monitor, it's an interstitial fluid monitor, so it reads that. But they said after about 12 to 24 hours you should get very steady doses. However, there are problems. There are things that I do not like about it. The Freestyle Libre, this is the Libre 2.
Okay.
The Libre, you could either use the reader or you could use your phone if you have an app.
Sure.
I was sold on this, particularly the Freestyle 2,
Uh-oh.
that you could do it on your phone, because I have been very much back and forth on testing over the years as a diabetic, and I have gotten really, really good at testing, particularly over the last month, because I was doing it to prove a point and ended up having the point proven to me, but whatever. So as we talked about a couple of weeks ago with my new diabetes doctor, with an app called My Sugar, which is MYSUGR, which is the closest I'll ever get to like Grindr. It's My Sugar. It's a hookup app for diabetics. And it doesn't read the Libre stuff. So then you have, so then I'm like, okay, well then I will download the Freestyle Libre app, because the Libre app works with Apple Health, and Apple Health will work with My Sugar. So that way I could, you can incorporate that kind of thing.
And that all works with your watch too, I would assume.
One would assume. However, so I put, and also one of the videos that I watched said that when you put in a new disc, which I have to put in every 14 days, you either use the reader or your phone. You can't use both. So what you have to commit to, am I always going to use my phone, or am I always going to use the reader for the next 14 days? Fine.
Okay.
So of course I'm going to use my phone. So I go to hold my phone over the Libre 2 sensor, and it says incompatible device. So then I look it up. Libre 2 does not work with the Freestyle Libre app. So now
sucks.
So now I have yet another device that I got to carry around. And I also get that, people are, the world is not a great place. So the fact that I have to carry around something that literally weighs like 0.2 ounces, I get, send your
thoughts and prayers to
Send your thoughts and prayers to Taylor the Latte Boy. But so then what I'm doing is I am plugging in on the My Sugar app. I'm manually typing in. So what this is actually doing at this point is this is making it where I am working harder, not smarter for this, because that's adding steps. So whereas I had no problem with the lancets and like testing my blood. So plus then it was where they're also saying that occasionally you'll get a thing on there going, you might want to test your blood sugar too with this. So I'm like, well then what's the point of me having this thing?
Then why do I have it?
Especially when you consider the fact that this is going to cost me like $150 for 3 months worth of sensors because of my insurance. So it's very like this one was free. Supposedly, this all may be a moot point because my insurance wouldn't pay for it a month ago, but now I have the data to show that it could be medically necessary. So I don't know, but we're going to try it. And the one cool thing is I can scan it. I could scan it 1,000 times a day if I wanted to. That seems crazy, but I mean, and
God.
We're sitting in the living room last night because it's all supposed to be, I don't quite get if it's supposed to be constantly sending signals to the reader so that it kind of shows it shows the graph of where I am sugar wise. But we're sitting after I set this thing up yesterday afternoon, like around dinner time, all of a sudden, Babalu and I are like, what is that beeping noise? It has to be like near you all the time. If it's away from you for more than a set amount of time, the device beeps.
Oh, you mean the thing that you hold over it?
Yes.
Oh.
So I'm going to, because God forbid I actually read the instruction book. There's
YouTube videos to watch, so why would you read the instruction book?
Well, no, and this is the instruction book for this thing.
Oh my God, it's like an Apple book.
Right. So it's, I will.
But I doubt all of that is in English. It's probably one of those where there's really only like 6 pages in English and then it goes through every single.
No.
No?
It came with 2, one in English, one in Spanish.
Oh my.
So it's,
Well, you enjoy reading.
Well, I enjoy reading when I understand what they're talking about, but I know that there's going to be, oh, wait a minute. Do I only get a certain number of day of wear, glucose reading? Okay, well, I will look at this later because now I'm looking at this. Do I actually only get to scan it a certain number of times a day? Well, I'll rip this shit out right now if that's the case.
So there's my last question is when it comes out, I mean, is it where they just take it out, put a Band-Aid on there, and go about your day, or do you have to have a little stitch? Or I mean,
no, it's just
big.
I had one of these like a lot longer than that, years and years ago. For 14 days, my endo put it in, and you just pull it out, and just like when I give myself my shots for my insulin. It rarely, occasionally I'll bleed, but I would say less than 5% of the time I get like a little tiny drop of blood. So that might be all that happens. It's like a filament that goes in, and it doesn't go all the way into your bloodstream. It's this little tiny, it's like a hair. So I think that the needle itself goes away. I don't know. I don't want to watch a video on that, because if I watch a video on that, like even just talking about it now, my arm's starting to hurt. Right. So. But then you're supposed to switch off with so the next time right now it's on my left arm, next time it'll be on my right arm, and you're supposed to kind of do that so that things don't get apparently when you pull it out, it's sticky. Shut up. The adhesive around it, and it has been known to irritate people's skin. So
we'll just use some Kaylin Swanson lip gloss on it. You'll be all right. You'll be fine.
No, it won't be dried and cracked. It will just be Kaylin Swanson lip balm.
Well, something that rhymes with crack, something we're going to talk about on this show, which is the show Hacks, I should say.
Yes.
Although I want to wait till we get into it with Rodan. I was going to say
I want to wait for it, because Rodan was the one that kind of, even though it was on my queue of things to watch, he was the one that sort of pushed both of us to
How far are you into it?
Well, that's a very, very good question, because I have wanted to watch the show since it came out. And we have had 4 billion other horrible shows that we've been watching, most of which involve RuPaul. And eventually, I knew once he posted the thing in the Pot Is My Co-Pilot group, now the clock is ticking, because you are very much of you'll get up at 2:30 in the morning and watch an entire series of a show. Right. And then that'll be where you'll just say random lines from the show that I'll have no idea the point of reference. And then 3 weeks later, I'll go, oh, that's why she said that. So I'm like, we have to start watching this. So, Oh, shit.
What?
I have to take this. Hold on.
Okay. No. So how far along are you?
Oh. So I've wanted to watch the show forever. Mm-hmm. And so we finally get to where there is this, you kind of helped push us along with this, you and Rodan. So I said to Babalu, do you want to watch this with me, or am I on my own? Because at this point I was like, I'll go watch it on my iPad if that's the case, because he's all about Ratchet and Clank on PlayStation right now. And so he was like, no, I'll watch it. I'll watch it with you. So the first half an hour, he scream laughs 3 or 4 times with some of the things that are said and some of the things that are done, that sort of thing. And it's an amazing show. And I said, do you want to watch another one? To which he looked at me and went, no. We're going to savor this.
You have said that to him many times.
Well, because he wants to watch some multi-level time travel, sci-fi thing, but all these episodes are an hour long, and he wants to watch 8 of them. And I'm like, I just want to watch a half an hour sitcom. I just want to watch a couple of them. And he was like, no. And then proceeded to do the thing of where he was pretending to lick his fingers, the sort of thing. He's like, we're going to savor the experience. So we watched 3 so far.
Okay. All right.
Which are really good.
Yeah.
If she's not at the very least nominated for an Emmy for this, then...
Yeah, no, that seems to be the consensus of opinion, that she will be nominated for everything for it. But did you ever see the movie Late Night, or Late Shift, or no, not Late Shift, to something. I think it's Late Night. It's the one with Emma Thompson and Mindy Kaling, because it follows real close. Hacks is better, and Late Night was a movie made for Prime or something. Yeah. But I mean, it's very down to the fact where she's, the older short blonde hair, and then brings in the young ingenue type situation. It's very similar to Hacks, except it's a movie. But and very
Hacks, similar to Late Night or Late Show.
Right. Yes. Because I think that one did come first. But we're
talking about Jean Smart. We're talking about national treasure. Jean fucking Smart.
She is just a masterclass, because Simon, and then we're not talking about the show. We're talking about Jean Smart right now. In this show, she is both, and her lighting, the people who do her lighting needs an absolute award, because in one scene, she will look effervescent and beautiful, and not the Sybil Shepherd Vaseline over the camera. Just an absolute flawless woman, comfortable in her own skin, comfortable in her own age. And then 2 scenes later, she can look like shit.
Right.
I mean, just rough. And then it shows her putting her makeup on.
Well, to be fair, it takes place in Vegas, and we all have pictures of her. Depending on which slot machine you're standing in front of.
Exactly. But she is just, I mean, within a scene, her range is amazing. I mean, just, has she ever been bad at anything?
No.
She was good in the Brady Bunch movie, for God's sake.
Glenn, longtime listener to the show, and I remember we went and saw the Brady Bunch movie, and we were both huge Designing Women fan at that time. And that was where she's laying on the couch and rolls over. We both like we were so excited to see Jean Smart.
Do you want to see if your daddy wants to come over and we can make a sandwich? You Brady boys sure are getting big.
Right. She's so great. She's so great in everything she does. She is like kind of the best part of Designing Women.
I was always a huge Delta Burke fan. I really was.
Well, Delta Burke was great too, but I mean, as far as the one that stayed consistent, her character stayed consistent through the whole thing. That was very Charlene, very Jean Smart, and she's just, and it bothers me. It bothers, like, you know, whatever. That's not the right word, but
not like income and quality, but it just bothers you. Sure, I get that.
That you guys didn't watch Watchmen, because she is just as good in that. And she has an episode that is just about her character that is incredible.
Well, I watched some of Watchmen until they massacred all the cows in the front yard, and then I decided I wasn't going to watch Watchmen anymore. But,
well, that was only the first episode.
And that's how far I made it.
After that, it was golden retrievers and kittens. Right. And they just massacred groups of animals every single episode.
Every single episode.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten over the episode in Sopranos to let me move on from it. So give me a little time.
I don't understand.
It's so good. I'll get to the rest of Sopranos. I just have to still move forward. And again, you can decapitate someone, cut their head and hands off in a bathtub. That's fine, but not killing one of my favorite characters. That's reprehensible. So.
And there's a moment. There's a moment later that, oh God, I want to tell you about the scene, but I can't.
You can tell me, but see, that's the difference. Is I don't care if you tell me. I will still appreciate it.
There is a moment. A character has a dream.
Okay.
And there is the character that you're talking about appears in the dream and says one line, and it
destroys you.
I remember like tearing up when this character says the line. Like for a split second. I remember sitting next to Drum and being like, like as soon as, because things kind of fall into place. But
up until that episode, my favorite, and not for a good reason, but my favorite episode was the episode where James Gandolfini reacts to the fire at the horse barn. Mm-hmm. Well, first off, he's exceptional in this show, but in the scenes where he's talking about the horse and not really talking about the horse and all this other stuff, that was my favorite episode. And then this one came out. And what's bad is that this episode was such a great... I know we're talking about a show that's been off the air for like 15 years or whatever, but you know what's going to happen. And still, it just reached in and like ripped your heart out. Because you know what's happening. You can see it coming from 6 scenes away, and you're still sad about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Great show.
And why are we sad? Because you made me watch the show. So Rodan brought Jean Smart back into our lives. Happy, joyful, not really, but sort of. And you brought death and gangsters.
And Italians.
Exactly.
So we will talk about Hacks more when he's back next week. Because I don't know that he's finished it yet, but we'll see. It's only 10 episodes.
Yeah, I was going to say I finished it. I'm assuming they will do a second season, but who knows? Yeah,
I don't know. I'm still trying to work my way through In Treatment, which my husband cannot watch. Sometimes if he's washing dishes from the other room, he'll come in and be like, "Are all clients assholes like this?" Because in the first season, all of the clients are horrible, and the therapist is horrible. The only good one is Diane Wiest. She's the only one that, and she's even kind of horrible too. But you still root for her because she's Diane Wiest. But it's still the second season is. I'm struggling with it a little bit. But
who plays the therapist?
Well, it's still Gabriel Byrne through the first 3 seasons. So I'm watching things from like 2009 where they're basically so the one character is still talking about AOL. I mean and they're using the Nokia like Nokia flip phones. Yeah, yes, I think a character has a BlackBerry.
A chocolate, a razor.
It's all very stuff like that.
If I went right now we have the girls' tech drawer that we have saved for them forever, and we have every cell phone that they've ever had that they didn't trade in. And I have my own Smithsonian wing because it is some of the things where when they're home, they'll pick them up and they're like, I cannot believe I had this in 6th grade. And because it's still, it's hot pink.
Right.
Or it has the one has the charm on it like Alexa wore in Schitt's Creek. it's just, they're so terrible. Yeah, I know. What was that sound?
Just silly. Just the silliness of technology. And now I have it literally attached to my person.
I was going to say, now you are part of that.
I am technology. I am technology. And yet, still can't get music to play on the show.
Maybe it'll play through your thing on your arm. You can just hold your phone up to it and record it.
I just hold the disc up and suddenly it starts playing the theme to Pod is My Co-Pilot. But I have a meeting this week with Adam Burns of Pride 48. He thinks it is to help make sure that I can stream, but I know otherwise. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Good luck, Adam.
And it's I don't think it'll be as stressful as it was the last time, but we are going to be doing our live shows. We have live shows coming up. That's in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Isn't it like the 24th and 5th?
It is. Well, the first one we are doing in Oh My God, Are They Still Talking? And that is Saturday, July 24th at 2:00 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Are we asking for our listeners to submit questions or interests?
Well, I was going to suggest that. So how about if we do that? I know that we talked last time we did like the Desert Island albums sort of thing.
Because I remember Ballgag Greg was very instrumental in the chat room of posting like all the album covers and everything. He was great.
Right. And I also know that one of our co-hosts is not crazy about music stuff.
Is he actually going to be a part of the overnight show?
No, he is going to be part of the overnight show. And I have repeatedly said to him, if there is a topic that you would let, a listing of television shows or movies or something like that, and I'm not getting any response back. So I'm going to leave it up to the listeners.
There you go.
1, we would love to have questions, and also be sure to post those questions on the Facebook group, because much like not like talking about music, he also does not like to be ambushed with questions. So,
and I won't check them. So that way, when you ask them, you get my original. There will be no actual forethought into these. I will give you my knee-jerk reaction, which sometimes is
there's
better.
Never forethought when you think. So we want questions, and if you have an idea for a topic, and then if we have some really good ones, I will let you know about it, so that you do have time to think about that.
Yes, well, yes.
So that is the Oh My God, They're Still Talking. That's the overnight show. And then we also have our Pod is My Co-Pilot live show, which is Sunday, July 25th at 8:00 Eastern PM, 8 p.m. Eastern on pride48.com. Be sure to sign up for the Pride 48 Discord channel, which is the new chat room that we use. There is all sorts of, that's interactive. There is a wealth of great shows that are going to be on that weekend. I will be definitely listening to many of them. I will also be sleeping probably through a lot of the Saturday morning shows, only because we'll be up all night. But the beauty of that is most of them, they release the shows later. So we'll be able to listen to it at that time. And
try to listen to one new show that you've never listened to.
Yes,
I do, believe it or not. I who don't listen to podcasts, I always listen to one show.
Yeah, well, that's the infamous where you decided to listen to Gayish on the phone on your Bluetooth speaker out on Laguna. They were talking about peeing on each other or whatever. Yeah, exactly. So that was. You couldn't get out of the pool fast enough because there are children 100 feet away.
Oh my God. But you know what? I was contributing to our art, so that's why.
Right. Ultimately, you were listening to a new show.
I was listening to a new show.
So, there's all sorts of new shows that I have never heard of before. And I will also be part of a reunion of sorts, the Drag Race Recap reunion with Joe Batance and Daniel Brewer. And we will be talking about All Stars 2, the reunion episode. So it seems fitting that it's going to be a reunion talking about the reunion episode, because we never actually did that episode when we did the All Stars 2 season.
The only way that could be better is if you were all in Daniel's new RV and went to Reunion, Florida to do the reunion show about the reunion show.
Is there a Reunion, Florida?
Yeah, it's not far from, actually, it's not far from Disney.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Get it right.
It's not that I didn't get it right. It's that I didn't know the information.
But now you do.
But now I do.
That's
and
right.
I'm better for it.
When someone texts us and goes, she's an idiot. Reunion, Florida's by Miami. I'm the one sitting here going, get it right.
Get it right. But hopefully by next week, well, I'll be able to play, music and stuff. I'll be able to play this back and go, you're an asshole. And let me tell you why, and hit the button, and then it'll be this couple of moments.
Oh, speaking of music and responses, I got lots of great responses of my choice of Home by the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
I got lots of people who said, I haven't thought of that song for years. I thought I was the only person who actually liked that song. That song reminds me of my dad. That song reminds me of when I was young and our family would go camping. And so I was really, that made me happy because did you ever listen to the song?
I listened to a little bit of it. I went through because the Apple Music playlist was not up to date. So I went through earlier this week and tried to update it. And it was a journey, and I still don't have all of it, but I did listen. As I was adding songs, I was listening to them for a couple of seconds. So
yeah, because it is a really good song, and I'm glad to hear that. Some of those songs that you think to yourself that meant something to me, I know it means something to somebody else, and then you mentioned it, and people are like, when you said, I don't think I've ever heard it, and a lot of people say that to me about that song. So I'm glad some of our listeners enjoyed it.
Excellent, very cool. All right, well, let's finish up. So, because I have an air conditioning guy coming to my house that I forgot to cancel the appointment when our air conditioning wasn't working yesterday. So,
again, that sounds like the beginning to a porn, but that's fine.
You know what? Some of these guys from this air conditioning company, I would like for that to be the beginning of a porn, which guarantees that will not be who shows up at my door today. Though we do have one that his name, I don't want to say what his real name is, but he goes by Bull. And he looks like Richard Mall from
I say Bull from Night Court?
He looks like Bull from Night Court, yeah. Which he was just like, the first time he goes, hi, this is Bull. I'm coming to your... And I'm like, well, this is the beginning of where, I'm ass up over my living room chair.
Have you ever been to France? I'm just asking.
You ever been to France?
There's an Eiffel Tower in your future.
Oh, okay. So, and then he got here and I'm like, oh my God, he looks just like... And then that's... Apparently that's he goes, I look like a guy that used to be on a TV show. And I'm like, yes, you do look like Richard Mall from Night. Yeah. He's like, yeah, that's who I look like, apparently. Is he still alive? Richard Mall's still alive, right?
I would think so. I was a huge Night Court girl. I loved that entire run. That was my first introduction to John Larroquette, who is at his time I always thought was very funny and very cute. And
he's dead.
John Larroquette is?
Is John Larroquette dead?
I don't know. Let's see. There was Marky Post and Harry Anderson. And I
got to get this right because we don't want to have another Nancy Dussault on our hands.
People jumped on us for saying that she had died from too close to comfort.
No, he is still alive. Harry Anderson died, though.
Harry Anderson died, yeah.
And two of the old ladies that were the bailiffs.
Yeah. Whenever I think of Harry Anderson, I always think of Mel Torme, and I love Mel Torme's music, so I always thought that was very funny that he had and I think Mel Torme was on the show a couple times. We're saying names of people that literally, right now, Kaylin has no idea. He's
John Larroquette, not John Larroquette. Night Court was a funny...
Yes,
Night Court was very, very funny, because it was very subversive.
Right.
So...
Well, it was very much like News Radio, which to me is still one of the funniest sitcoms that has ever been on the air. And Night Court was followed in that, where, News Radio was just one of those things where, but again, Phil Hartman, who is dead, tragically.
Marky Post is 70 years old.
Does she look good?
The picture on her Wikipedia is from the 1988 Emmy Awards. So, yes, she looks great in this picture.
Great. Fantastic.
I wonder what she looks like now.
I don't know. I always thought she was pretty.
She was very pretty.
I'm sure she probably is.
But there was the other one that was on before Marky Post that kind of looked like a bird. She looked like a lesbian bird with that weird short haircut and yeah.
But Marky Post had a weird short haircut, but it worked for her.
No, Marky. If this is a recent picture of Marky Post looks awesome and doesn't look like her ears touch in the back of her head.
Well, there was a whole, let me see. Oh, no. She looks great.
She looks amazing.
She looks like the one from,
that necklace is stupid, but.
She looks like the one from Entertainment Tonight. I don't know what her name is. The one
Mary Hart?
No, one who famously interviewed Taylor Swift and said she was going to go home with a man or something, and then she's on all these weird clips. I don't know what her name is. But she kind of looks like her. There was this whole article on BuzzFeed the other day about actors and actresses that are the same age, where like Jack Nicholson, when he was in A Few Good Men, is now the same age as Sandra Bullock is now. And they have side-by-side pictures of Jack Nicholson. And like, J-Lo and Rue McClanahan. When Rue McClanahan started Golden Girls, she's the same age as J-Lo is now. And then, of course, it's a picture of J-Lo, at the Super Bowl.
Well, no, that was the big deal that they talked about, the fact that the women that were in Golden Girls, they were the same age as the women who were on Hot in Cleveland, with the exception of Betty White, obviously, but because Estelle Getty wasn't that old. But I mean, the three women were the same ages as the three, and when you think about what a woman in her 50s looks like now, Taffy Carlisle Huffington versus what women looked like in their 50s back on. That's pretty amazing. Like, I just read an article, like somebody like fat shamed Valerie Bertinelli the other day or something like that. And she posted something about it on Instagram, and why I decided to click on the link, I don't know, but I did. But it said Valerie Bertinelli is like 61. And I'm like, that's crazy to me, because I always think of her as like being on one day at a time.
For as much shit as I give my mother will be 70 this year.
Your mother looks amazing.
My mother looks amazing. Now, I realize that she's had a little Botox, but as far as the body and the hair and the whole thing and the boobs still sitting up high, she actually does look really, really good. Yeah. I will give credit where credit is due, and she does look really good.
There was discussion of what we were going to do for my birthday. Babalu wants to get that locked in now.
Yeah,
and
good.
I said where I wanted to go to dinner, and he was like, "Okay, we'll do that." I'm like, "We can't do that on my birthday." I said, because it's going to be the Widow Carlisle's 70th birthday, so there's no way we could do that. So we have.
But do you know who has the next birthday coming up? Tank's birthday is Friday. Yes.
Yes. Yes. I have his gift right here.
And we're going to discuss another gift when we are not on the show. And no, it does not involve going to Paris.
Where is it?
I don't know.
Hold on. Oh, there it is.
Oh, wow. Oh. Are you naked?
Well, first of all, I'm never naked. I could be naked, but I'm not. And I'm wearing a great t-shirt.
Naked is, and what did I just say?
Naked. No, but you
naked?
just are you naked?
Naked.
Yes. Naked to me. Whenever you say naked, I just always expect you in overalls with one of the straps off and no shirt on underneath and like dirty feet.
Oh, God.
Y'all naked?
First off, we need to discuss dirty feet comment. Oh, wow. Excellent. We need to discuss dirty feet, because dirty feet to me is a big thing. If you're outside.
Okay, we don't need to talk about your fetishes.
No. In my own house.
Fuck me with your dirty feet.
Okay, stop. In my own house, on floors that I mop every single day, I wear house slippers, because the idea of dirty feet freaks me out. That's one I can't do. Yet I offered to give you a foot rub the other night, so obviously feet don't bother me. It's just dirty feet bother me. No.
Okay, well, were my feet dirty when you offered to give me a foot rub?
No, not at all.
Okay,
first off, it sounds very. It wasn't that kind of foot rub. His foot was bothering him, so I said, "I will rub it for you if it'll make you feel better." Much like his dick.
I was going to say, and then she offered to do my foot too.
Right, exactly.
She wanted to distract me, and I said no. And she goes, "Well, then how about if I rub your foot?"
Exactly.
No, okay. So he said we're going to talk about dirty feet, and then you just said dirty feet. Is that all you have to say on the matter?
That's all I have to say about it. Just people who go to bed with dirty feet. Oh, God.
I will say my husband has taken the advice of going to bed with socks on.
Good.
Per you saying that. And he goes,
very good for him.
She is right. She goes, I've slept better in the last week with socks on than I had before. I still haven't done that yet, but.
That's one thing my sleep doctor told me to do that I questioned extensively, and he was, he's been right about most things, even though I don't sleep at night, but he has been right about most things. And sleeping in socks, it does not make you hot. It actually regulates your temperature. It creates better circulation, and it's supposed to be, and there's a lot of health benefits to sleeping with socks on.
So if I understand correctly, you wear socks and a t-shirt that you have cut up to where it is only sleeves.
That is true. It's a tissue tee, which means that it's literally, you can see straight through it. It's like tissue paper. And I have cut all of it off except the wide neckline and sleeves because I like sleeping with something on my shoulders and nothing else. That is a fact. And when I wake up, I do not
So you basically are wearing a negative 2 dress.
Yeah. When I wake up, I have an actual nightgown that's like laying across the chair that sits in our room, and I don't even make it to the bathroom before I put something else on. But when I am asleep, when you and I have been in the same hotel rooms before, I will like walk around in like a nightgown and something, and I have to put on something to sleep in, and there's part of me that dies a little bit inside where I'm like, oh God, I don't know how to sleep. It freaks me out. Because you get to sleep in your underwear and nothing else, but I have to sleep with my nibbly bits covered up. So.
Yep. I don't need to wake up in the middle of the night and have that gaping maw staring at me. So no, that's. Well, I'm glad we did a short show today.
And I'm glad we're ending it on something that's classy.
All right, so we will be back next week with 584. Rodan will be back by then, and hopefully we'll have theme music, and we'll be able to play voicemails, and we'll be able to do all that sort of stuff.
Sure.
So everybody send him some positive thoughts with getting his. Yes. I think his stuff all comes on Tuesday, so we want to make sure that all of the DVDs are there. I mean, obviously, nobody wants to not have Punky Brewster, season 3 when you have 1, 2, and 4 because that would make my eye twitch for him.
You know that there's part of that that's true, though.
No, I know that'll be the one of the biggest, not fights, but it was kind of a fight when we moved into this house. When Drum and I moved into this house, I was off on Mondays, and I took an entire day taking our hundreds and hundreds of CDs and alphabetizing them while there were still boxes everywhere that needed to be. But that was important to me. And Drum came home from work and saw that and was very mad that I did not do other things to help make the house. And I'm like, I am making the house better. This was a project that was important to me. And
if you need to find Wang Chung, it's down at the bottom. If you need to find Aha, it's up at the top.
I can guarantee you, we probably had Aha. I don't think we ever had Wang Chung. I was never a Wang Chung. Though I liked Dance Hall Days.
I was going to say, Dance Hall Days is a great song.
And the To Live and Die in LA soundtrack is really good. But the Everybody Have Fun Tonight, Everybody Wang Chung Tonight was not, I hated that song. In fact, Wang Chung opened for Tina Turner. When I saw Tina Turner in the 80s, they were the opening act. And I specifically remember telling my dad, we don't have to be there right away because I have no interest in seeing Wang Chung. So I could have seen Wang Chung as a child, and I didn't.
I don't know why, but just you saying Wang Chung that many times at once is funny for me. I don't know why.
Because you're simple.
Because I'm simple. That's the only explanation. It really is.
All right, everybody. We'll be back next week with 584. This is Taylor.
And Taffy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Wang Chung.